this video is for my brother Steven. I want you to understand that I am talking to all of you, but specifically, it's a shout out to him. The martial arts tradition is so deep and mired in so much mysticism and legend and honestly bullshit that we've kind of lost and gained and re-lost and made up and added to and created this quagmire of insanity around the martial arts. So let's clear up one thing first. Martial arts as martial arts has been around as formal methods of combat, has been around since people have been fighting. As soon as somebody successfully hit somebody and somebody else said, hey, I want to learn how to do that too, you have martial arts. Every single corner of the world, everywhere there are humans, people have been hitting each other and locking and throwing and pushing and using weapons and stuff since the dawn of time. If you want to look at martial arts on the whole, you have to simply understand that it is simply an outcropping of survival tactics and civil struggles. Over time, as society built and everything, it turned into war and tribal warfare, split between small-scale gang stuff and individual squabbles to large-scale national things and even multinational things. But then something happened. Religious folks, peaceful religious folks, got their hands on the ideas of martial arts. And this happened primarily in the East. You don't see this counterbalancing happen much in the Western traditions. Especially because many Western religions are not very peace-oriented. You look at a lot of the paganism and whatnot, they esteem the battle and the braveness and the victory and honorable death and whatnot. But anyway, fundamentally, you have Buddhists and Shinto and Taoists getting their hands on martial traditions and seeing the value that not only the tradition of making oneself able to defend, but able to create physical health, to create strength, to create confidence. These things are noticed. And if you look at, say, old Shaolin training, so much of their training revolves around toughening the body to resist blows more than it is to execute blows. Because as Buddhists, they are not meant to be going out and fighting. But if they can resist the blows of those who would harm them, then they have a better chance of surviving and continuing on with their mission and yet still holding up to their principles of nonviolence. It's a pretty incredible idea. So, though I will tell you flat out, bold-facedly, that martial arts was meant originally for harm all the way up to lethality and beyond. Several thousand years ago, it was adapted to holistic lifestyle choices from psychology, structural health, metabolic health, and of course the self-defense aspect never really left. And there was a tradition created primarily in Asia, once again, where the masters of the martial arts were not only masters of healing or of harming other people with their movements and being strong and capable and esteemed members of society and all that for their ability to be badasses, but they were also masters of healing and of art and of peace and music and cooking. And to me, this is an important tradition because in modern society, we don't face the same violence. There are certainly professionals who hold up that veil for us that do face the violence on a much, much more frequent level. And they do so knowing that they're protecting the rest of us from having to deal with that, making our lives much more peaceful. They are often, not always, but often, voluntarily sacrificing their own peace for ours. And think what you will of that. The fact is that because we have a veil of professional violence handlers protecting us, the violence that slips through is infrequent and unpredictable. And that infrequency and unpredictability makes it so that while self-defense has not disappeared as a necessary quality, it gives us the time and the latitude to focus on the personal development aspects and the healing aspects of it. And I think it is an important tradition to kind of bring back, to raise from the dead, though from what I understand it's still quite an active idea in China and Japan and Korea. But it's important to be able to be a healer as well as a harmer. I don't think that's a word, but it really is important to be able to help people as much as to hurt those who would do further harm. And that's why I study a lot of postural and corrective kind of stuff. My preference and all that is more towards the tissue and joint health side of it, the physio side of things. But there are many who would be bone setters. There are many who would be apothecaries. The chemists, the nurses, the potion makers. And even though it's not my bag, not part of my belief system or anything, the energy workers out there have seemingly done some good. There are massage therapists, which is closer to what I am interested in, chiropractors who, maybe not. But the fact is that I think as a modern martial artist, it is important to latch on to that tradition and learn how to build people up as much as tear people down. Because at the end of the day, cooperation benefits us a lot more than isolation and fighting amongst ourselves. Just some thoughts. Good journey.